you are?
Officer Hoyt.
And how did you know who I was?
You've written to me before.
This is Susan Bassi, and that was a video I took outside the Apple Store in Los Gatos in the year 2020. And this is the Apple Store in the year 2023. We're going to talk about police officers retaliating, not just against journalists who record them on the street, but against police retaliating against publishers who publish newspapers, online content, or even print magazines. Because whether you're a print publisher or an online publisher, publishing is the only business that is protected by the First Amendment, because we have a right to earn a living in order to provide information to the public, especially information about police, lawyers, judges, and public officials.
The Kansas Bureau of Investigations has launched a probe into last week's police raid on the newsroom of a local newspaper and the home of its publisher and co-owner, Eric Meyer. Police seized computers, hard drives, servers, and phones. Eric Meyer lived with his 98-year-old mother, Joanne Meyer, who was co-publisher of the family-owned newspaper, the Marion County Record. One day after the police raid, Joanne Meyer died at her home. The paper blamed her death on the police raid, saying it had left her, quote, stressed beyond her limits. At the time of her death, Joanne Meyer was talking about the raid, saying, quote, where are all the good people to put a stop to this? She died mid-sentence as she expressed outrage over what happened. The raid reportedly stemmed from a dispute between the newspaper and a local restaurant owner who accused the Marion County Record of illegally obtaining information about a drunk driving incident of its owner. But it appears the newspaper had also been actively investigating Marion Police Chief Gideon Cody over sexual misconduct charges at a previous job in Kansas City. Details about that investigation were on a computer seized in the raid. During the raid, the police chief injured a reporter's finger while grabbing her cell phone out of her hand. Over 30 news organizations and press groups have published an open letter to Marion's police chief blasting the raid, writing, newsroom searches and seizures are among the most intrusive actions law enforcement can take with respect to the free press and the most potentially suppressive of free speech.
Publishers use similar tools in order to gather up news and information and decide what information to edit and publish that is ultimately disseminated to the public. And that whole process is considered the newsgathering process, and it is one of the most protected processes under our Constitution. And it's important that we not allow police officers to intervene with that process.
A few years ago, I was walking down the street down there.
Yeah.
You know where Gardino's is?
Yeah. Okay.
So I was walking from the back because they were digging it out, and it was like the Los Gatos exciting story, right?
Right.
And I came by here. Somebody had called 911, and it was the first time I had ever seen somebody arrested on the street for a 5150.
Really?
And it was right there. And guess what? I filmed the whole thing, and then the cops were parked over there, and so I went and I was filming the whole thing. It was the first time I became a cop watcher that day. And so I filmed it right over there. And then right after that, the cop that I had filmed, he was a little pissed off, and so when I was at Los Gatos Meats, he gave me a ticket.
Retribution.
Yeah, I got it. And you are?
Officer Hoyt.
And how did you know who I was?
You've written to me before.
What did I write to you about?
Not all of us know that police officers have a right to lie to us, and this police officer did just that back in 2020. His name is Officer Hoyt, and I never wrote to him, so he clearly knew who I was. I had done a records request just a few hours before that, but he seemed to know me even beyond my records request.
Blossom Hill Avenue?
I don't recognize the name, but when was
I don't think I've written to Los Gatos Police before.
you wrote to the Los Gatos Police Officers Association?
And just as publishing is protected under the First Amendment, so is the right to associate, including the right to associate in formal organizations, as police departments often do. They associate outside of work, and they decide which businesses they're going to support. But sometimes the culture inside those police officers' associations reveal conduct that needs to be evaluated on the job.
Yeah, you're right. But in a way, she does. But she's mentally ill. The lady
so it gets written off.
Yeah, it's mentally ill.
She used to get the mental illness card.
Yeah.
No,
So don't worry about it.
It's the
There's
liberalist.
nothing. I know, but it's nothing you can do. She's mentally ill.
Do you know what defamation is, sir?
She's just trying to get a reaction out of it.
You just made a record calling the police.
I already got the lowdown for the police department.
And a few days after I had been recording police in Los Gatos, California, for the first time ever, on June 10th, 2020, I was recording in this area when everybody got very upset and they decided to call the police. So I, of course, had to wait. And when the man was talking about me, he was telling everybody in this area that the police had given him the lowdown, that I was mentally unstable. That's a common tactic with police officers. They try to discredit those who are investigating them who might actually be on to something.
If you bump into me, sir, I'll have it on video and I'll sue you for assault. And don't hurt my dog.
Oh, I didn't see your dog.
Oh, really?
Oh, sorry.
Dog abuser.
And sometimes the culture of policing isn't something that we always see on the street because it can happen in secret. It happens with what they say in those police associations and to people when nobody is recording them and putting those videos up online.
Hi.
Hi, Susan.
I was actually just recording the businesses that are opening because one business told me the DA told you to arrest somebody for opening early and you guys said not to. So I was out looking at who was opening.
Okay.
I'm going to need the name of that gentleman. And that guy decided to get very aggressive. I have him on video of hitting me. And yeah, I am investigating because I've had several people tell me after one woman appeared on Fox News, District Attorney Jeff Rosen issued an arrest warrant and you guys didn't want to enforce it.
Okay.
So do you have his name?
Jeff Rosen's name?
No, that guy's name.
I don't know who he is.
Well, I'm telling you that he made the call, so you asked for his name, you have his phone number, and he physically assaulted me and I have it on video. I'm going to need all the calls for service on that. He also said that someone from the Los Gatos Police Department said I was crazy. So I'm going to need a copy of that call.
What time is it, Susan? 1 o'clock?
Mm-hmm. What you doing?
Writing a parking ticket.
Writing a parking ticket for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based on what?
You're more than 18 inches from the curb.
Happy to pay that. Do you have any comment on allowing businesses to open when Jeff Rosen ordered you to arrest them?
Not at all.
Do you know about selective prosecution?
If you want a statement from the department, I know as a self-proclaimed journalist, Susan, you know how to get that, right?
Did you just call me a self-proclaimed journalist?
That's what you have said you are.
Oh no, I've said I'm a journalist. I never said I was a self-proclaimed journalist.
Well, it kind of means the same thing, I think.
Really? Is that like being a self-proclaimed cop?
Sure, except I'm licensed.
6 years before the Marion County Police raided the home and business of the local newspaper publisher, their police chief, Michael Stone, was discovered by an investigative reporter to have had a domestic violence case in California, and therefore his certification or licensing was pulled. And on August 5th, 2017, he resigned because he was no longer licensed and certified. It took a journalist to uncover that information because the police chief had acted for 5 years when he wasn't entitled to be certified. And that was in the Marion County's history when the newspaper started to investigate the current police chief.
Yeah.
Susan, I'm going to take off. Is there anything else you need?
No, nothing. Your
Okay.
name?
It's Corporal Hoyt. It's on the ticket I just gave you.
Okay, I need your name and badge number, please.
It's again, it's on the ticket I just gave you.
I'm asking for your name and badge number.
It's
I
Corporal
don't
Hoyt,
have strong
badge
enough.
74.
File a complaint and a report on this. I asked her to not record me, and she didn't respect that.
Well, here's the problem. Where were you standing?
What was that?
Where were you standing when that happened?
Right over at the door of the meat property.
The problem is
It
that
was
you.
harassment.
The problem is that you were in public.
Sorry, one more time.
The problem is that you were standing in the public view,
Oh, okay.
right? Like if
But as soon as I ask her, I don't want her recording me.
you're still standing in the public view, and I know it's frustrating, and it's
I don't want to be on her YouTube channel either.
neither do I, but we're in the public view, right? And
Is that a form of harassment, though? It's got to be.
I think some people, I mean, based
If you
upon
ask over and over and they keep provoking.
so based upon the calls we got, I think a lot of people feel harassed by it, but I don't think there's a legal case to be made for actually harassing, right? Because she's standing in the public view. I know that a lot of people have expressed that they feel annoyed and harassed by her, but I don't think it meets the legal definition of a crime.
You're not even wearing your mask correctly. Just take the
You
damn
don't
thing off.
even have one on, sir.
What did I need one for?
Why are you criticizing my mask if you aren't even wearing one?
Wow, really?
Yeah, really. Hi, officer. I'm going to move right now. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
As a great deal of public resources and attention went to issues such as politics, public recording, and masks, we continued to investigate the Los Gatos Police Department in connection to a bribery scheme involving the district attorney and a secret committee known as the Bar Bench Media Police Committee that we've revealed in previous videos. And these are the issues that matter most because public corruption and bribery harms the public far more than recording in public.
Chief?
Chief Seaman, yes.
Got it.
I'm a longtime Los Gatos resident.
Got it.
And while I was a resident and a publisher in this town, I could never have envisioned that we would ultimately find records related to the police chief of Los Gatos attending the secret Bar Bench Media Police Committee with the District Attorney Jeff Rosen, a number of judges, and a number of other police officers and reporters who were reporting favorably on this department and the District Attorney.
And I am investigating Officer Silva's hiring and resignation.
I understand.
Deputy, please don't get rid of any of those photographs you took of me on that phone. Was that a department phone or a personal phone?
That was my personal phone.
Okay, I'm going to need those records. I want to know what you did with my picture, and I want to know who's in your contact list.
Don't delete them.
Thank you.
When a police officer pulls out their personal cell phone to take a photograph of a journalist recording them in public, or any member of the public who they might not agree with their politics, they've created a public record. And it's important to request those records because they can indicate retaliation and other problems in the culture of a police department.
Federal lawsuit.
Yeah, please don't delete it. I'm currently involved in a situation with the local district attorney, and that is now evidence in a criminal and a federal case.
Okay. Next job, I think. I was gonna give him money so they can go get himself a hot meal and shower. But what's up? I was gonna give him money so they can take a hot shower and get a meal. But wouldn't leave. Work done?
Yeah, I got enough. We're going to get your training. Appreciate it. Officer Lowe, you were the best today. Thanks. So, you're filming? You're filming?
Yeah.
So you remember we came to Gardino's because I was with Joe and we had seen they were running all these news about how there was a dead body in the back of the Gardino's, this restaurant. And so the San Jose police were digging it up like they were midnight shovel breeders or something, right? And they're literally talking about how this is going on in the back. So Joe and I come down here and we're walking here because it's blocked off. NBC and everybody else is in the backside. So Joe and I are coming down the street, right? And we go on that way. Film what that looks like that way. Going that way. And we're just walking along. Come follow me. We're walking along, going past the Los Gatos movie theater.
What's it called?
I want you to film the newspapers. Look what.
First Amendment protections for the news gathering process are so strong that if somebody were to interfere with unpublished journalistic work, it's actually considered a crime in California. And yet when I went out to Los Gatos High School for a publicly noticed event, noticed by this banner, and tried to record the event, a school administrator hit my camera and told me that I wasn't allowed to record in public, as everyone else around me was recording for the school newspaper, the school yearbook, and parents were recording their children.
And you are Officer
Vaughn.
Vaughn.
Okay.
And you are.
Officer Hoyt.
And how did you know who I was?
You've written to me before.